It's no question that higher education lays a strong foundation for success in the future, both financially and for fulfilling careers. Unfortunately, many students in college and medical school, graduate school, are really struggling financially. So that's why you are about to meet a woman who's on a mission to help students make it through school and excel. Welcome to Boss Up Goddess. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. Our guest tonight is doing exactly that, and I'm so honored to introduce to you the First Lady of Wayne State University, Jacqueline Wilson. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Well, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be on your show. I'm so excited.
Thank you. So, you are doing such amazing things. You host a weekly podcast. You are on a mission to help students excel. And in your role as First Lady at Wayne State University, which is a major, amazing university in the city of Detroit, you are doing wonderful things. Can you start with your mission to help students who need financial assistance, please?
Absolutely, absolutely. It is definitely a passion of mine. I will tell you give you a little bit of history. I'm from Los Angeles. I was born and raised pretty much in Dallas, and I guess, high school years in Denver, and then I relocated to California. In California, I guess it's unfortunate as it might sound, there's so many homeless people. So I've always had a mission to help the homeless and do what I can. If I can eat, I want to help at least one other person. So after my husband accepted the presidency at Wayne State University in 2013, I knew I couldn't continue my career job. My last job was actually in energy and natural gas. And so I figured, okay, if I'm going to be a first lady, it was all new, the title and all the responsibility, I knew I had to forego my career at that point. So I wanted to be supportive of my husband, and how we started out, we got to the university. I had never been to Detroit. I had never been to Michigan. So it was truly a culture shock. And I was like, wow, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So everybody was pretty excited to have a first lady. They hadn't had a first lady at Wayne State in decades, probably 30 years, I believe. And so we were at our first reception on campus, and the dean of social work actually came over and welcomed me and said, "We're so glad to have you as the first lady." I was like, "Thank you." And she kind of whispered to me, she says, "Well, I want to let you know we have a homeless problem at the university. There are a lot of homeless students." And I kid you not, Elizabeth, it was a no-brainer. I knew right then and there that that was going to be my mission. She shared a story with me of a medical student who was homeless and living in her car. And I swear to you, I thought, how is that possible? How could she be in medical school, homeless, and living in her car? And why is this? So at that point, I knew immediately that that's it. That's what I'm going to focus on, helping homeless students at Wayne State. So I started the program, the HIGH program, helping individuals go higher.
The HIGH program. Excellent. Yes. And that was in what year?
It was in actually the first year we got there, 2013, probably around October. We started in August, and about October, I was able to actually officially say I had a program to help the homeless students.
Oh my goodness, I love that. So did you do some investigating to see how prevalent the problem was?
Yeah, so my first initial meeting, I met with local homeless shelters, COTS, and now they're called Oasis, but I met with Alternative for Girls. I just wanted to see what was in place currently and asked that if we had a student that we needed to refer to their facility, if they would please let us know, take care of them and look out for them, because obviously we didn't want them to be homeless. And unfortunately, when my program first started, we really didn't have the capacity to offer them housing. One thing the president did not want was to have a facility or a dorm. This is the homeless, apartment building or location. So I just work with the local shelters to say, please, let's try and help these students out. So that was my initial meeting. And then at that point, I tried to see what resources were available at the university. And I guess good and bad, there weren't a lot. So I had to actually start from the ground up. And the initial $25,000 to the program came from the president and the administration to say here. So nobody knew that there was actually homeless college students. A lot of people, I guess, understood that, during the break, the Christmas and Thanksgiving, kids may not have a place to go, but no one really understood the magnitude. And a few years later, I'll just kind of fast forward, one of our professors, Professor Toro, did a study on the homeless population at Wayne State. And it ended up, I'll keep it kind of short, it ended up that we had 20% of our student population either precariously housed, food insecurity, or homeless at any given time. And the university has anywhere from 27,000 to 28,000 students.
Wow, that's really a huge number, 20%. And
unbelievable.
What are some of the circumstances that could lead to that? That's a huge and mind-blowing.
Well, most of the students that we help through our program are not chronically homeless. They are usually in a crisis situation. Let's say the roommate moves out, one of the roommates move out, and they're stuck with $1,000 for rent instead of the $500 that they were committed to paying. In addition to that, it may be a family dynamic. There's abuse at home or a situation. I'm dealing with a lot of, we do run into a lot of transgender students. And so they're either, not welcomed at home anymore and they're put out. So it's circumstances like that. And 9 times out of 10, they never have money in the bank saved up for an emergency.
Wow, that's extraordinary. So what type of program did you put into place and how does it help the students?
Okay, the program, we were able to form the program actually as a 501c3 that rolled up under Wayne State University's foundation. So it was fortunate that we didn't have to be a separate entity. So at that point, I just did what I know how to do. I've been in sales for many years and I started selling the program. And the main thing was simply to bring awareness and to let people know that, yes, these students are tenacious, they are determined, or they are homeless. So we need to do something about it. And initially there was a little hesitation because nobody wants to admit that there's homeless students on their campus or that there's a situation like that. But I'm like, this is what we need to know. This is why we need to know so that we can help them. And I started, like you mentioned the newsmakers, I started doing interviews. I was fortunate enough to where I'm a gift. I have a kind of gift for gab, I guess. And so I was just telling the story. And I told individual stories of students that were coming to the program. Initially, Elizabeth, we had to do everything through paper processing. So it was a little cumbersome because we really didn't have an office where students could come in and fill out applications. So we had to get the applications out to professors. Fortunately, through automation and everything, we're able to do everything online. So it's an online process. They can remain anonymous. All that we ask them to do, never to pay anything back, just to please graduate. So it is considered an award. It's not a scholarship or a loan. We take steps to make sure that they understand, we want you to graduate. I'm doing this because I want you to cross the finish line. So all we ask them to do is to write a letter, a testimonial letter, just explaining how the program will help them and has helped them. And they can remain anonymous if they want.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. How do you identify the students? It seems like there would be a great deal of shame and secrecy if someone's sleeping in their car or couch surfing, as it's called, sleeping in friends' homes and rotating. How did you find these students?
Great question. Most of the students don't even believe that they're homeless because they're doing just that. They're couch surfing, they're living in a car. One young lady was living in an abandoned house, but she says, I have a house, I'm living in the house. I'm like, no, sweetie, you are considered homeless. So we set everything up where it's a very confidential, private process that they do online. So they go on our website and they click the application, they fill everything in, and nobody has to know that they even applied. The only people that are involved in the process is financial aid, usually their advisor, sometimes the professor, and we have a department within our provost's office that, just to make sure everything is smooth sailing. So
Mhm.
they're notified as well, but they remain confidential except for the key people that must know that they're applying to the program, and everything's done online now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So can you share some success stories? Like whatever happened to the medical student who inspired this whole program?
Well, the medical student ended up, we didn't follow her, we didn't really track her. So the one person that we were able to help, because unfortunately, it's some entities within a university that can't work. For example, it's generally a medical student and or an athlete. So we were able to refer the young lady to some other resources through our medical school that was able to help her.
Oh,
Our first
okay.
student that we helped directly through the high program, her name is Kyrie, and she's just a superstar. We're still in touch as of today. So she actually had taken a class in the fall. I apologize. She had taken a class in the summer because it wasn't offered in the fall at Wayne State. And so
Mhm.
she used the money that she had received from financial aid to pay for that class. And then
Oh,
when it came down for her fall semester, she was short. She was
oh,
actually short $1,900. And she reached out to the high program, and it was like, this girl is doing everything right. She had a 3.8 grade point average, just an adorable young lady. And
mm.
so she is actually like our spokesperson for the high program.
Oh,
And
wow.
we were able to help her with $1,900. She wrote her testimonial letter. She's gone on interviews with news media and things like that in support of the high program. So, I mean, that is one of many success stories. What we
Mhm,
try to do, we try to help every student, but we
mhm.
have three basic requirements. They have to have an established GPA of 2.5 or greater. They have to be currently registered in the semester that they're asking for assistance. In addition to that, they have to be in need. So all that goes together. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be in need for sure.
Mhm, mhm. And about how many students have you helped?
I'd say overall, wow, either through direct assistance or referral, we're probably at about 380 students over the last 8 years.
Wow.
One year, last year was tough. It was really tough, because students weren't allowed on campus, and students were trying to gather their thoughts and what was going on. And within 1 week, this is the most we've ever gotten. We got, I think, 50 applications in 1 week. And
Oh,
it was staggering because, I have a limited crew. We work with a lot of volunteers, interns, and work studies. So we weren't really prepared for that many applications because you have to
mm,
go through the due diligence of every application. And I would say we were able to help. We have right now a success rate of 100%. The students that we help graduate. So
wow.
either in the current year or the year that they're supposed to.
Mhm. That is amazing. That's wonderful. Can you talk about the importance of instilling that in them the message of giving back when they're in a position to do so?
Absolutely. When we give an award that's anywhere from $500 or up, we have a meeting with the student and just reiterate that fact. We need you to pay it forward. We're helping you now, but remember, when you're successful, and we know you will be, please just reach
Mm-hmm.
back and help the high program, help a student in need.
Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. That is the best. And you also have a lot of support from the very wide network of Wayne State alumni, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We would go to do our regular fundraising and meeting with donors and things like that. And, I'm going in my role as the first lady, supporting my husband, helping with fundraising. And people will say, okay, Mrs. Wilson, well, what do you do? And at that point, I'm like, okay, I run a program that helps the homeless students on campus. And
Mm-hmm.
people are just in shock. Oh, they're homeless
Mm.
students. I can't believe it. So, that starts the conversation.
That's beautiful. So, can you also talk about some of the other things that you do as First Lady at Wayne State? And your husband, by the way, is M. Roy Wilson, who is the president of the university. So, what
Yes,
else do you
yes,
get to
yes.
do? Sounds like a wonderful opportunity to help people in so many ways.
Yeah, so we kind of operate as a team because ever since I came to the university, basically I go to all the alumni functions. I help with fundraising. I go out as the first lady to middle schools and high schools to recruit students to come to Wayne State. Also, part of my role is to, really support the fundraising aspect of it. Having dinners, we entertain probably prior to pandemic, it was at least 3 to 4 events a night. And that's every night, weekend,
A
holidays,
night? Wait, wait,
birthdays,
wait. Did you say a night?
a night.
What?
It,
How do
I
you do
mean,
that?
literally, we would usually have 3 a night. So it was very tactfully. But what we would do, we would simply have a lot of dinners and receptions because it's a big campus. So 9 times out of 10, we were going somewhere on campus and we live on campus. So that was a very convenient in that sense. We would have to go to like the different schools and colleges, they may have a reception. Then we'd have a community reception that we go to. And then maybe we have to go to the arts and crafts or arts and the art school and watch a play. So it was just so many events. And honestly, this past year has been kind of like a way to just step back a little bit, try and reconnect with people. But it's intense. I just tell everybody I have 3 jobs at the university.
It sounds fun to go to receptions and dinners and be greeted and meet people and all that. And the campus is gorgeous and all the architecture is historic and beautiful. So that sounds really fun. And plus, you probably get to wear all kinds of great dresses and things to every
I
different
kid
event.
you not, the cleaners love us. We have a cleaners in St. Clair Shores, and they are so happy during the pandemic. They're like, "You're not coming?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry. We're not dressing up. We don't have any clothes to, bring to the cleaners." So yeah.
Wow. And you've probably met so many fascinating people because Wayne State has the medical school, the law school, so many other departments and colleges that have this global conglomeration of brilliance. So how fun is that?
It's exciting. I
Mm,
mean, I'm trying to think. I can't even count one person in particular, but there's so many people that are alums from Wayne State, from actors to actresses and doctors to inventors and
yeah.
scientists. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And
Hmm.
we could be anywhere. I think we were somewhere like where we wouldn't even expect to see anyone from Wayne State, and someone will walk by with a shirt on, and I'm like, "Is that Wayne State in Detroit?" Like, yeah,
Wow.
I went to Wayne State.
Oh,
And
I
I
love
kid you
it.
not, I didn't really hear about Wayne State. I wasn't familiar with it prior to its coming, but it's so exciting once people start and they stop you and they tell you their stories about this is what happened. I fell in love in Old Main in the basement, and I met my fiance and my wife, and and we
Oh.
hear all these stories, and it's just so nice.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. It just seems like you have a really fun job with making powerful impact to help people. So, background in Dallas and Los Angeles, then you come to Detroit. So, what has that been like? Have you come to love the Motor City?
It's so interesting. Initially, I thought, wow, and everybody had such negative views about Detroit, quite honestly. Why are you guys moving to Detroit? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I'm like, no, it's dangerous in LA. I mean, that's where I live.
Yeah.
And it's really dangerous there. So, it's all in perspective. And I find that I tell people this everywhere I go. Detroit is so welcoming. The
Mhm.
people there, I mean, they made us feel so warm and received everything we had to offer just perfectly. And it was funny because I think people appreciated the fact that we moved to Detroit. We came to Detroit where everybody else actually exited, a mad exodus during that
Mhm.
time. But
Mhm.
it was just, I always say this, I don't have one bad thing to say, especially about the people of Detroit. They have all been so nice,
Mhm.
all of them. And
Mhm.
I kid you not, Michiganders, they left a nice thought in my mind. I love Michigan and I had never been there, but the people made the difference and they continue
Mhm.
to make the difference. And I'm not just saying this, it's
Mhm.
true because I lived in New York for, I think it was like 4 years. I don't think anybody spoke to me ever.
Oh,
Just walking down the street that you didn't
yeah.
know. But in Michigan, they smile, they're happy.
Hmm.
And Detroit will always have a special place in my heart. And I told my husband once, I said, I can do those pure Michigan commercials because I'm a believer now. I can do
Oh,
it.
that's wonderful. The Pure Michigan commercials that promote
I
our
love
state.
them.
We're so unique. It's such a wonderful place to be. I'm so happy that you have grown to love our city and the people here are just wonderful. That's
They
beautiful.
are.
Yay. Well, this very upbeat spirit that you share with all of us is manifest in your podcast, First Thought Podcast, which you all can watch on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And you talk about things like mindfulness and how to have excellent communication, how to communicate with confidence, how to journal. Can you talk about the inspiration for the podcast and your goal with it?
Well, my goal is I want to be Oprah Winfrey. No, just kidding. Joke. I love her. But no,
Me too.
honestly, I wanted to just share my thoughts and what little wisdom I have that I can offer. I've been in sales for most of my career. And the fact that, just feeling comfortable talking in any setting, being able to articulate what you want to say. And I thought, wow, I can do this when I meet people, but when we're at a reception or at an event, it's so brief. And I'm able to share a little bit of who I am. But I thought, okay, well, let me do a podcast. I wanted to, extend my brand and everything. And so I felt that, if I could be somewhat of a life coach, I'm not licensed as a life coach, but, I felt that I want to be able to share my experiences with people and give a little bit of advice during these podcasts. And so that was the motivation.
Mm-hmm. I love it. They're really fun and upbeat and with lots of solid instruction that can help us all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, do you have anything else in the works that you're doing to help students? I mean, things have shifted so much during the pandemic. There's schools closed for a while. Michigan has the highest rate in the nation of the coronavirus pandemic cases. So, how have
Yes.
you shifted in your service?
Well, what we've been able to do, it kind of saddens me because I know it's just going to be worse than it ever was for the program, in the sense that we're going to have so many more students right now because students are not on campus. We're not really finding out a lot about it because oftentimes they will be in the dorm and then something happens and they can't afford it and we will help them. Right now, we have a limited amount of students that are actually on campus in dorms. So I don't know, I'm just anticipating a bad year next year, to be honest, when things are back and people are really facing not being able to have a stimulus check or, have some type of resource. So what we've done is we're trying to just build up our resources, financial resources, to be able to say, okay, when we get this influx of students, and we want to make sure that we're able to provide them support. And unfortunately, the 2020, a lot of companies that were sponsoring us and helped to donate didn't. So we're at the mercy of people just remembering the HIGH program and saying, please help these students because they need it and they deserve it.
Wow, I sure hope that this show can be a reminder to people who may want to make
Thank
some
you.
type of contribution. So, Jacqueline, if people are watching and they want to help, who should they contact?
Well, they can go to our webpage. I got it right here.
Okay. You're ready.
I'm ready. So it's HIGH program, one word, .wayne.edu. So highprogram.wayne.edu. And there's information on how to donate. You can do, we have a text to give. You can do a monthly donation. You can do an annual donation, and you can do everything on the website.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. I'll put that in the description box. So anybody who's
Thank
watching,
you.
you'll be able to just click right there and get participate and help a student. I think I heard you say that people can adopt a student or a family for the year.
Well, yeah, we started a program and it's been in existence since the program started. We've had donors that want to say, okay, I'd like to help one student with housing for 2 years.
Oh,
What does
okay.
that look like? And then we will calculate a number for them that it would be housing on campus,
Mhm.
preferably, a meal plan, and if they needed like a bus pass or something like that to get to and from school. So we'd
Oh.
calculate that out for them, and then they could sponsor a student. One of the things I don't do, Elizabeth, I don't ask our students to um, give interviews and be exposed unless they want to. So it's
Mhm.
not something, it's not a requirement of the high
Mhm.
program at all.
Oh, that's good. Like I said earlier, there's probably tremendous shame and
Absolutely.
probably tremendous gratitude that you come and save the day and enable them to stay in school and get that
Yes.
degree so that when they can get a good job, they will not have to deal with these types of struggles. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. And so it's very rewarding in the sense that I'm able to give back in this way. And
Mhm.
I've always loved helping the homeless. So this was right
Mm.
up my alley.
Oh, that's wonderful. This shatters so many perceptions of homelessness because it's just not something like you had that total disconnect when you first heard about a homeless medical student. What?
Yes.
So you're really shattering a stigma around homelessness and helping people. I bet you get the most wonderful thank you letters from students who are just so overwhelmed with gratitude that you stepped up to help them.
Yes, no, it's definitely so rewarding. And if I have time, I'll share one other story.
Please.
There was a student, and at Wayne State, we have non traditional students everywhere. And so this young lady, she was actually probably mid 40s, mid 50s. She was going back for her degree. And she was so sweet. She came to the program and she didn't have any front teeth, none whatsoever. And, she came to me and she was crying and she says, no matter what degree I get, I'm not going to be accepted simply because I don't have my front teeth. And I was like, she's right. I mean, where is she really going to get a job, without them judging her based on that? So, long story short, I was at a Gleaners event um, one year, and people were kind of noticing me or whatever. And one lady said, "Who are you? I've never seen you before. Who are you?" I said, "Oh, well, I work with Wayne State. I'm the first lady at Wayne State, and I started a program to help the homeless students." And she's like, "I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay." And the lady was actually from St. Vincent de Paul
Oh, okay.
church. And so she says, "Is there a student that I could help? Is there some way we could be helpful to you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. The student came to me. She was crying. She was really sad. And she asked who could help her. She needs her dental work done. She has like missing all the top row, the bottom row, the whole thing." And the lady said, "I'm going to help this student. I'm going to help her." So what they did, Elizabeth, they actually, I didn't have anything to do with it. I gave her information. She gave me authorization to do so. And so they met with her. They got her dentures. And I was just, I don't know, it's just so emotional for me because I know the difference a smile makes. Your
Oh,
smile is
yes.
so beautiful, Elizabeth, let me
Thank you.
tell you.
Oh,
And
thank
so
you. So is
I just
yours.
said, "Oh my God, this young lady, would not have had the opportunities." And okay, so fast forward 3 years on campus, I'm walking on campus and she says, "Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Wilson." And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't recognize her. I swear. I turned around. I was like, "Hey," she says, "It's me. It's me. You helped me get my teeth."
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness. Wow. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. That is amazing.
amazing. And she was smiling a mile away. I was like, "This
Mm,
is beautiful.
mhm.
This is makes it all worthwhile for sure."
Oh my God. That's life changing on every level. Wow.
Yes.
What a beautiful place to conclude this amazing interview, Jacqueline Wilson.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atkins.
You're so welcome. It's my honor to talk with you. You're very inspiring and fun, and I'm so grateful that you're making such a positive and powerful impact on our community here in Detroit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I love the two sisters.
Thank you. Thank you. We have fun and we handle the business, and we're all about inspiring people and providing books by people with diverse voices and against the odds success stories like your students have, thanks to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wish you the absolute best, and please do stay in touch and good luck with the program. So thank
Thank
you
you.
very
I
much
will
for joining
definitely
me.
stay in touch. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you, all of you, for joining us this evening on Boss Up Goddess, where you got to meet Wayne State University First Lady Jacqueline Wilson talking about her wonderful HIGH program, helping individuals go higher, and all the other wonderful endeavors that she does as First Lady. Truly inspiring. And I'm so grateful that you're able to make this powerful impact on the world. So, thank you for watching, and please do like, share, subscribe, comment, and please check out my book, Boss Up Goddess, which is on our website, twosisterswriting.com. It inspired this show, which is all about empowering you to live bigger, better, and bolder. So remember, Boss Up Goddess, you have the power